What's up, guys? My name is Angelo, and there is none good but one, and that is God. I had the chance to go to Yellowstone National Park 3 times, and today I want to share with you my Yellowstone Top 10. Welcome to the world's first national park. This place is the most unique location in the US as it is full of wildlife of all kinds and a plethora of hot springs and unique geographical features beckoning you to take photos. I spent about 10 hours exploring the park each time I went, so let's dive into the most photographed spot in the park, the Grand Prismatic Spring. This is one of the world's largest hot springs, and it is so cool to look at. Starting from the center and expanding out is this beautiful blue water, and as the hot water reaches its borders, it begins to change from yellow to orange and red colors due to the different types of bacteria that can survive in different water temperatures. You can park near the spring and take a short walk to it. As you cross the bridge, you'll notice the crazy look of the riverbank with the streams of hot water flowing down into it. As you stroll along the boardwalk, you'll be mesmerized by the way the ground looks. It definitely looks like the surface of another planet. Continuing on the boardwalk, you'll pass by some pools with water so blue and clear, you might have thoughts about drinking it. Now you might be wondering where the Grand Prismatic Spring is. It is the massive pit with the epic amounts of steam rising from it. But on the boardwalk, you won't get that iconic look of the spring. You will just see the steam rising up. Instead, park your car at the Fairy Falls parking lot and take a short hike to Grand Prismatic Spring Lookout Point for a view like no other. You know you're on the right path when you pass this small pond on the left side that looks like black tea. When you made it to the vantage point, you'll have that chance to get that famous picture of the spring. After that, let's go to my favorite place in all of Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon. This canyon is stunning. The yellow color of the canyon walls, the trees surrounding it, and the river that runs down the middle make for a view that looks just like a painting. In fact, the Yellowstone River running through it is the force that created it. This canyon is 20 miles long, 4,000 feet wide, and 1,200 feet deep in certain places. There is one waterfall named Lower Falls that I was drawn to because it's just insanely cool. There are a couple of spots you can view this waterfall from. The first spot is called the Grand View, which lets you walk right to the top of the waterfall and watch as it flows down 308 feet to the base of the canyon. This view is incredible and makes for some amazing photos. As I stared at the waterfall, I felt like I was tripping out because the way it was flowing, it played tricks on my eyes and it appeared to be as it was glitching, for the lack of better words. It was truly a crazy experience. The other awesome view you can get of the falls is on the opposite side of the canyon. This view also is breathtaking, as seeing the roaring waterfall from afar just lets you understand how grand it is. This part of the Grand Canyon is a mile loop that you can drive on and stop at various places to get more amazing views. There's also another waterfall here that is smaller yet beautiful, as the sunlight hits it just right, creating a rainbow as the water descends into the valley below. Next, let's go to Firehole Canyon. This canyon is a beautiful gorge that offers a scenic 2-mile drive as you go around it. It is located off the main drive loop and it is totally worth the detour. As I drove in, I stopped to admire the Firehole River that carved this canyon. It was so beautiful and peaceful there. I just couldn't stop observing the canyon wall as it looks so unique. As you continue down Firehole Canyon, you'll come across Firehole Falls, which is a 200-foot waterfall flowing into the river. It looks awesome, and I heard that nearby is a swimming hole which many people definitely take advantage of. Also, as I continued to drive, I could have sworn I saw a hawk in a massive nest. It was so epic. Now let's head over to see the iconic Old Faithful. I fortunately arrived to this famous geyser right on time because there is usually a 90-minute wait between eruptions, and I arrived with 5 minutes left before it spouted. You know it's coming when it starts little by little spitting out steamy water until it eventually shoots up almost 185 feet into the air. You're also surrounded by a circle of people enjoying the scene. Now I must admit that I was slightly disappointed with Old Faithful. I blame myself because my expectations were very high. I actually expected the earth to tremble and make epic sounds as the geyser shot out, but it's nearly silent. So much for my fantasies. Now let's proceed to the unique looking Mammoth Hot Springs. To me, this geothermal feature looks like a set of hot stairs. It is actually a complex of hot springs and travertine terraces, which are types of rocks formed by the water mineral deposits that build up over time. This is another place to get a crazy photo at. Next, let's head over to Yellowstone Lake. This is the largest body of water in Yellowstone, which is 19 miles long and 14 miles wide. It is popular for fishing and boating. When I arrived there, I had a nice lunch next to the lake, and I also walked about stopping often and thinking about how crazy Yellowstone is. After having your lunch, it is time to head to Dragon's Mouth Spring. This crazy looking cave hole gets its name from resembling a dragon's fire-breathing mouth. The gases and hot steam that frequently erupt from the cave hole truly give off that fire-breathing vibe. You can stand near the top of the mouth and view its eruptions, and also go near the bottom for a more personal view. Now, just a short walk from Dragon's Mouth Spring is the crazy looking mud volcano. It is the grayest thing I have ever seen in my life. It's so gray. If gray was my favorite color, then looking at the mud volcano would be my favorite hobby. Staring at this thermal mud pit is definitely a trip for the eyes. The way it just sloshes about and bubbles up is insane too. I feel like it is one massive pool of liquid metal. After that, let's go see some more crazy mud at the fountain paint pots. Now, seeing these things are cool, but the first thing I notice immediately is how they sound. The best way for me to describe that is it sounds like thick soup boiling in a large cauldron. The one you're looking at now is not that intense, but if you go a little further, you'll come across another one that is constantly shooting out brown mud. It's so cool. Lastly, we are going to Lamar Valley. Referred by some as America's Serengeti, this beautiful stretch of land is considered home to many types of free-roaming animals such as elk, bison, and wolves. Now, during my time there, I only saw a lot of bison, but I did spot a black bear from afar off just taking long strides across the plain. Well, that's going to do it for my Yellowstone Top 10. This is such a magnificent piece of creation that I hope everyone can experience. Until next time, God bless.